Hey, everybody. Hey, welcome to Nerdside Champs, your weekly dose of everything nerd. And this week, we are going to be focused in on the brand new hot series. So hot that ChatGPT told me that this was the thing that we had to cover this week. uh, Alien Earth. And listen, we did watch it. We didn't just let ChatGPT form our opinions of it. We dedicated the time to watch the show and form actual opinions. And my actual opinion is that the song Mob Rules slaps. That's a banger
100%.
of a song. Yeah. So that was my key takeaway from 2 episodes. Like, I'm an Ozzy guy. I love Ozzy. R.I.P. Ozzy. But Dio era Black Sabbath is also really cool.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, two great things, almost completely different bands. The vibe totally changes, and I've got us on a really big tangent because this show is so very mid. Before we jump into the comments, do you have any like overarching things, Tim, to Jason? Like, we'll start with Tim and then go Jason.
Well,
Like,
yeah, let's go around and just kind of get overall thoughts. I mean, Jason, let's go ahead and start with you. Guess first because I still have to collect myself. So go ahead and give us your overall thoughts, and then Dan and I'll give ours, and then we'll dive into some of these comments real quick.
It's mid. Like it's pretty cookie cutter what an Alien series is. It's like we were talking before we went live. There's only so many ways you can show a xenomorph sneaking up on somebody. I will say I like the second episode more than I did the first episode. The first episode, it made the cardinal sin of showing me something that I would rather be watching. So like they did the quick cuts where the xenomorphs like running around the ship, and I was like, I would rather see that. Like, I don't care about these weird Peter Pan children, but I mean, it's not terrible. I don't hate it. I don't like it, but I don't hate it.
Yeah, Tim.
I mean, full disclosure, I am an Alien normie. Okay, so I am 1000% novice on this. My knowledge to Alien goes back to just 2 movies, Alien and Aliens. I did watch the third one, don't remember anything about it, only that I didn't like it, and that is why I did not watch anything after that. So I have not seen Covenant, I have not seen Romulus, I have not seen Prometheus, I have not seen AVP, all the stuff that other people have probably seen and formed more opinions about. The one thing I will tell you is that they hit a lot of the Alien tropes really, really early. The xenomorph in the missing ceiling tile that you look up and you see the face come down. Yeah, I mean, that they hit that one. They hit the face huggers in the room and you don't know where they are. They stumble upon the eggs and they start to open up. There's a lot of the Alien tropes that they've already hit. It makes me think that the series is not going to be Alien focused because of that. They hit all the stuff early. All the member berries are tickled. Everything's good. and now that we've done that, we're going to hook you into this actual conflict that we want you to focus on, which is obviously going to be the guy who started the Android project, the boy genius, whatever his name is, versus these kids. That's what the series is going to be. This is essentially going to be The Walking Dead, where there's going to be human conflict and occasionally xenomorphs will show up. That's what I'm getting from this so far, because they've already gone through all the Alien tropes. What else can they do? So that's kind of I did not really care for it because of that. The biggest problem with the Alien franchise is they kind of got in an identity crisis. They started out, Dan and I were talking about this, they started out as a horror franchise, right? The first movie was obviously a horror movie. Yep. The second movie was like an action thriller, which is still horror tangential, but not, it's not full on horror. And then they kind of got away from this and tried to kind of mix in multi-genreal stuff and tried to do a little bit too much, tried to do this covenant thing where they were trying to like rebuild society. So it was kind of like a love story angle almost. And then Alien versus Predator, which was just full on, video game violence. They've really tried to throw so many things in there trying to please everybody. It's very, very similar to what Kevin Feige has done with the MCU. You can't please everybody. You're a horror franchise, focus on horror, focus on action thriller, do that kind of stuff, but do not stray too far from it, because then you end up with a situation where now you're going to go back and what are we doing now? Now we're trying to be a serious TV drama, and it's just not working out. The pacing is very slow. It doesn't work. When you try to take a movie concept and make it into a TV series, this is what you get. Just isn't working for me. So not a fan of it so far. I'm with Jason. I don't hate it. It would be in the middle tier category, like a 4 out of 10 for me. But I wouldn't go as far as to say I hate it, but it's definitely not something I typically would have watched.
Yeah, right now with the genre jumping, we're at pure sci-fi. We're trying to move into Blade Runner territory is what we're trying to do. Just very blatantly trying to move into Blade Runner territory with replicants. I mean, they're not replicants, they're synths, but are they human? Do they feel that kind of thing? That's where we're at with something that was a haunted house. What's that?
You're right on there, Dan. They're really moving into sci-fi territory, because the thing that I thought of when I saw them was I thought of Lilu from The Fifth Element. How naive and kind of, there's a lot of different things in there, elements from other sci-fi. So continue. I'm sorry.
I mean, this was a haunted house in space.
Yeah.
And now we've got pure avant-garde sci-fi that you're trying to mix in. It's not necessarily great taste that tastes great together. I will let the world know how much more dramatically steeped in alien lore that I am than Tim. I have seen the first 4 alien movies. I know that because Winona Ryder was in the 4th one, and I remember that I saw the one with Winona Ryder, but that was in 1997 or 98, and I saw it once. So there are only 2 alien movies that I have any recollection of at all. But I have seen AVP, but that's not any canonical. That's just aliens and predators killing each other in Antarctica.
And it's fun. It's fun.
It's fun. Yeah. But I think that's where we lost the idea that predators are supposed to arrive in the heat, which I miss. I like that. They show up when it's really hot. And now they're in cartoons battling Norse people in the snow.
I was telling Jason about that movie. Man, it was terrible. And what's really funny, Dan, is that could be the second worst Predator movie of the year. Okay, so we're really in some weird territory here.
Yeah. What was it? Killer of Killers. If you ever played a middling video game that had pretty decent gameplay, not great, but really awful cutscenes, and thought, what if we could just take all these cutscenes and make a movie out of that?
No, he's not kidding.
That's what
he's not kidding.
I'm gonna have to check it out. Like, I'm gonna have to do it.
Yeah. You're gonna be like, man, the cutscenes were better than this like three systems ago. That's what you're gonna think. But anyway, back to Alien Earth again. It's not terrible. The second episode was slightly better than the first episode, but the thing that they just took a big strike for and out of Hollywood was AI and machines and whatever. If I was to sit here, and I'm not going to bore, we usually do recaps, but I don't want to do a recap, because if I was to summarize everything that happened in the first 2 episodes, you would be like, whoa, that sounds awesome. How exciting is that show? Because like when you sit down and make a list of the events, you're like, because you're watching this, like, when is stuff going to happen? Like, nothing is happening. But then you do like a middle log of like all the stuff that has happened. And you're like, oh, wait, there's all kinds of stuff happening. I just don't care. And the reason you don't care is there are no characters. There are no characters that you're rooting for, that you care about. that create any kind of suspense. And if these are the best characters that the human writers in Hollywood can come up with,
Bring
then
on
I'm ready
AI.
to give AI a crack. Let's just let AI start writing this stuff, because these humans they're not showing any more personality than the AI could. It really.
Mhm.
And if the first one's goal, the first episode, was to have you turn it off and watch the first movie, then they totally succeeded.
Mission
Because
accomplished. Yeah.
basically one of the opening scenes where they're sitting around the table, they've woken up from the cryo sleep and they're eating, that felt so much like the first movie. Like it felt like a scene from the first movie.
Yeah,
And that episode
absolutely.
basically took the whole first movie and boiled it down to like 4 minutes of boring screen time.
Yeah.
No suspense. And you're like, oh my God, how could you do this? So anyway,
So
we'll dive in. What's that?
So the Alien franchise it's a true rare gem because it takes people that I really like as like writers and directors and somehow makes them unentertaining. Like Alien 3 is directed by David Lynch and it sucks.
Yeah.
Alien 4 is written by Josh Whedon.
Oh, gee, I didn't know that.
Yeah,
I did not know
one of
that.
his first big screenplays.
And there's not a memorable line of dialogue in the whole thing.
No,
nothing,
not at all.
Nothing.
I can't tell you a single plot point of that movie.
I just know Winona Ryder's in it. I think she's a synth. I think.
Yeah, she's
maybe
an android. That's the big twist. She doesn't know she is one.
Okay, because we're in Blade Runner. We're watching Blade Runner.
Because Blade Runner is a better movie. They're just like,
you know what? This episode 1 opens with the text on screen explaining the difference between synths, cyborgs, and hybrids, right?
Mm-hmm.
And within the context of the story, we get all the exposition that we need to explain to us what a cyborg, a synth, and a hybrid is. Hybrids are being created. They don't even exist. No one in the story knows what one is because we're watching the first one ever being developed. But we're given it at the beginning of the episode as if we're watching Conan the Barbarian or Star Wars, and we need this backstory. And it's like, this is not backstory. This is front story. You don't have to tell me what a hybrid is. You're telling me the story of the creation of the very first one.
Mm-hmm.
But Dan, did you get the idea that capitalism is bad?
Oh yeah. It's
it's capitalism, it's bad. I don't know if you're aware of that. It's bad.
Yeah.
We don't like capitalism. Anyway, watch our thank you for paying $10 for Disney Plus. And we'll put ads in it anyway, even though we get your $10. But capitalism is bad.
Yeah. Oh, jeez. Okay, we're gonna get into the comments. Like, what are they thinking with their show? Tim, do you know what they're thinking? What do you think they're thinking?
I mean, here's the thing. The thing about this show is there is going to be a really, really passionate new generation contingent that loves this show. Mm-hmm. I can see it because I feel like there are the new gen Alien fans, the people who came around probably around Covenant, said, that's not a very good movie, but then watched Prometheus and Romulus and said those were better. I feel like that fan base is probably gonna think this is amazing because they probably either haven't seen the first 2 movies or they probably think this is something fresh and original, or they just think that this is different because this is kind of something that is famous right now, is when something is slower, when it has more of a drudge to it in a series. A lot of people think that means that makes it super serious, and super serious equals super good. And I just don't think that's the case. I mean, basically, you've taken the concept of a 2-hour movie and stretched it out 8 hours. And that's why I really don't have any hope for this. But there is going to be a very passionate contingent. They'll probably find their way into our comments that think that this is the most amazing thing that's ever been put out. And we're fools for thinking that it's not that great. So
I have a sinking feeling. Are you ready for my sinking feeling on this show?
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
Wendy is going to tell Xenomorphs to attack people at some point in time. She is going to be able to communicate with them. That is going to be something that happens.
God, we do not need.
It's gonna be like in Predator 2 when we hear the Predator say MF. Okay,
but that makes sense.
And we're all like, but wait a second, you know what I mean?
That
sympathetic
makes sense.
Xenomorph is just something we don't need. We don't. We were already getting the sympathetic Predator this year.
Having a Xenomorph that's basically like, you know, Sick'em Rover. I mean, that just would be, that would be very silly. I agree.
I mean, but that's coming. That is where we're going 1,000%. Like, I just, that's my prediction.
You know what I think they were thinking? They were thinking Mob Rules slaps. We need to put that in.
We gotta throw that in there.
They're like, this show is garbage, but we need something exciting at the end.
Get the kids excited, huh?
They just don't know how to, like. I'll see what happens in the comments, but just the suspense is just not drug out. Like you have dangling things that could work, things that could like arch through a whole show, and you just like I gotta. They just tell him flat out, "This is your sister."
Yeah.
So
they find him 30 seconds later. That could have arched for a whole.
Yeah, I mean, it could have been a whole episode. Not trying to say that this is your sister, you know, and that, that absolutely.
So
the drama.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead. It's just it would have been such much drama of her knowing. But go ahead.
So this is kind of told out of linear, like there's not like boom, boom, boom. You've got like the beginning where we see the Xenomorph, and then we cut, and then we see the ship crash. This is the first time in the stream I'm going to mention it. I just last week watched a movie that did that way better. Like, and it was Weapons. So like Weapons hurt this show even more because I'm like, I know you can do it. Like,
the trailer has turned Tim against Weapons. He's not going to experience. I have not seen it.
I will never see Weapons.
Listen to me.
Never see Weapons.
The most satisfying.
Listen. Okay, until an actual honest trailer comes out on YouTube that tells me somewhat what the movie is.
You know what it is.
I will not see it. I do not know what it is.
Yes, you do.
I do not. I have no idea what it is.
Hey. Listen,
I know.
I got Josh Gates. I got Josh Gates's ringing endorsement on TikTok. Okay, and so if Josh Gates says that it scared him and he didn't want to go, that guy goes deep sea diving for like lost airplanes and like he's real life Indiana Jones. Okay, he's on the the Discovery Channel every night, unlocking the world's mysteries, and he was afraid after he saw that in the theater. So maybe it's good.
The movie is about a bunch of children that got up out of their bed and left at 2:17. That's the movie.
I know this. I know this.
You know what it's about.
I don't know why I care.
Because it's children. It's fun.
Anyway,
Tim hates fun.
Children leaving is
just know that about Tim.
You know, when I think about fun, I think, oh my goodness, I can't wait to watch that movie about all those children leaving their homes. That sounds amazing. But anyway,
it's like Scooby-Doo, Tim.
Yeah.
See,
anyway,
Scooby-Doo would tell me exactly what happened before
they do in the
saw the movie, and I would love it. It'd be great.
Doug, I was pretty excited to hear about the show, but I'm not really sure where it could go from here. They seem to have worn out all of the typical alien stuff already. Well, you can have a queen. I mean, the queen's got to be coming, right? There's eggs.
Well, and is that the little like hangy downer doohickey with the like thing that was following him?
Yeah.
Was that possibly something having to do with the Queen? I was wondering about that. Was that in any other Alien thing? I can't
kind of
remember.
looked like something from Prometheus, which I was kind of hoping that they forgot happened, because I hate that movie. It took 2 times seeing that in the theater before I finished it. The first time I fell asleep in Prometheus. Like,
and you paid to go back.
I did. I needed to know.
this guy has dedication. I think one time I laid down my money and fell asleep, I would be like, you know what? That's enough for me. But no. Jason's like, maybe I was wrong.
Maybe I'm the problem.
Yeah. Oh, if her brother is not dead in episode
he's alive.
3,
He's 1000% alive.
This guy has the most amazing plot armor. He's a bigger Mary Sue than Ray Skywalker and you know, what's her name? The Amanda from from the act. Like, you could just roll them all into one. OSHA. None of them have the plot armor of Wendy's brother in Alien, because like this xenomorph kills everything with such alarming speed.
Yeah,
in like half a second.
Yeah,
in half a second. It's
but
not
he just tackled that one guy.
It's like he grabs whatever it is, shoves his little alien mouth inside of it, and then shakes it around like a puppy dog. And he does that to everything that it comes in contact with. And then all of a sudden it just grabs her brother and is like, oh, well, we'll just go to the lair. You know, I don't get that. You know?
I mean, a full squad of fully armed dudes come upon it, right? And a guy like takes a deep breath and turns around, and they're already scattered. The body parts are everywhere. It's gone, and they're dead. Right?
Yeah, they weren't made.
But the same xenomorph had to have a full on. What's that?
I said they weren't main characters.
yeah. But like this guy, who's not even like a combat guy, he's a medic, has a full on WWE SmackDown match in the middle of an apartment where it killed a whole party of people in like 0.2 seconds. Like you like it immediately precedes him into the door, and he walks behind it. Everybody's already dead. Body parts everywhere.
So
and then
so my daughter has been watching. She watched the trailer for Welcome to Derry, and she was like, "Dad, how do you, like, if you ran into Pennywise, how do you survive him?" And I said, "It's easy, babe. You just have to be a main character in the book."
That's
and
how
she's
it works.
like, she's like, "How do you do that?"
except for that one kid that stood up to him when he was the big spider. Other than that, you know.
Well, I mean, that's at the end of the book.
Other than that kid, you were fine. You know.
Yeah. Oh, how many poorly made attempts are we going to have at making a successful movie series into a TV show? It just doesn't work.
Check out Friday the 13th, the series coming soon.
Yeah, man. When's the last time you guys watched a TV series that was a spin-off of a movie series and just absolutely loved it? I mean, when's the last time?
They're chasing MASH. That's what it is. They're still chasing MASH, where the show was better than the movie, and you almost forget that it was based on a movie, you know, and then it runs for like 10 years. Yeah. MASH was based on a movie, which was based on a book. And the only cast member that carried over from the movie was Radar. And everybody else was recast in the show. And nobody ever watches the movie or cares about the movie because it wasn't half as good as that show was. So they're still chasing it. and I will contend that it's worth watching the Sarah Connor Chronicles just because Summer Glau was in it.
Summer Glau, yeah. And hey, if you love watching Cersei as a good guy, there you go. That's your series, the Sarah Connor Chronicles. She actually made a really good Sarah Connor, believe it or not. Anyway,
I've got one. Are you ready?
Okay.
Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
That's not a bad one. That's actually not a bad one. Buffy the Vampire Slayer. I will say it was much better than the movie. I will say the series was much better.
That's in the MASH territory. People almost forget that there was a movie.
People almost forget that there was a movie. Yeah. Nobody thinks of who was it? It was Christy Swanson that was in the movie, right? And nobody thinks of her as Buffy. Yeah. Everybody thinks of Sarah Michelle Gellar as Buffy. Everybody. So yeah.
So there we go, Jon Snow.
Josh Whedon. So.
Yeah. So there we go, Jon Snow. It can work. We've got two whole examples.
Yeah. I mean, but just look at what's happened in recent years, right? We have all these MCU shows, which have all been very middling at best. I think that, maybe WandaVision was pretty good, but the rest of them, and then like I watched The Continental really expecting it to be good, and it just did not land for me. I'm a huge John Wick fan, so I expected it to be good. It really wasn't. It was very, very middle of the road. I didn't care for it as much as I cared for the movies. And so, yeah, I mean, this is just a trend right now, man. Try to stretch this out and see if you can catch lightning in a bottle. And maybe there's fans that'll just like this more than that. And I don't know, man, like TV series are different. The character development is different. The plot lines are different. Trying to make it exist in the same universe and still keep things fresh and new and entertaining in a series like this, it's almost impossible. So,
yeah.
Hey, Jason brought up Friday the 13th, the show. I'm going to throw in a plug for Freddy's Nightmares, which was basically, Tales from the Crypt, but Freddy and the Crypt Creeper. So good stuff right there. Of course, nobody younger than us has any idea what Tales of the Crypt is because it's not on any of the streaming platforms,
which makes me so sad.
Yeah, Tales of the Crypt was awesome. If you can find some bootleg something somewhere to watch it, you need to. It's not available in digital.
Dennis Miller and Bordello of Blood, best episode ever.
MVP. Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm excited for Welcome to Derry. I think it's going to be good, but I'm ready to be disappointed.
So yeah. I mean, Stephen King likes his TV miniseries, but they're not as good as the movies. I don't think so. We'll see.
They just can't be.
I Am the Night.
They just can't be as well known,
Yeah, I enjoyed the first two episodes. Lots of suspense. Great character stories. I don't know what show he watched. He must think we're talking about.
Well, he's a Snyder fan. I mean, on the Snyder scale, this is groundbreaking. The way he used Peter Pan.
Yeah. The cinematic work is very well done. I give it a B, but I'm sure you guys will hate it because you hate everything. We don't hate everything, but
we don't hate it. You know what I mean? We don't hate it, but I mean, we're not waxing poetic over it like you are, man. I mean, I just don't understand. Honestly, I just don't understand how somebody could watch the first two movies of the franchise and then watch something like this and even think they're in the same galaxy. Yep. As far as quality, they're not even close. There ain't no comparison. Okay, so just don't try to put it in that category. And people are going to try that just because this is different. Like I said, different somehow equals good to most people now, and I just don't agree with that.
Some a-hole is going to make a list on YouTube, and they are going to put this above Aliens. Like I know it's going to happen.
Yeah,
no way. And here's the thing. I will give it this. For modern television adaptations, the production value is very high. The sets all look very good. In the spaceship, the control room on the ship, the lunchroom looks like they walked onto the set of Alien. You know what I'm saying? That all looks very good. The building looks nice. All of the interiors, the effects for the most part look very good on a television scale.
For a TV show, they're not bad. They're not.
Yeah.
For a TV show, they're
Yeah.
not bad.
Yeah. The ship looks very good in outer space. You know what I'm saying? Like in outer space, the ship, when it crashes on Earth, not as good. You know,
No,
it takes a
not at
little
all.
dip. But you know, in the xenomorph always looks cool. Of course, that's an effect, that's a suit that got worked out, you know, 40, 50 years ago, and it never fails to look awesome. You know what I'm saying?
Did you notice that its lips look different? Was that just me?
I think that they do look slightly different.
I don't like the xenomorph's lips. It makes me uncomfortable.
Oh. Oh, so let's see.
I put that note in my phone. I was like, I'm gonna get that in.
These androids do not appear to be as frail as the previous ones we've seen in the series. Yeah, the synth in the original Alien, I forget his name.
Didn't it get like ripped in half or something?
Yeah. He shows up in Romulus. It's very uncomfortable.
And that isn't there like there's like it's like white like stuff everywhere. I remember that because I was like, yeah, it looks like milk. Yeah.
Well, they did mention the hybrid.
It's all white.
Yeah, he said, "Oh, they took all our blood out. It's all white inside now." Yeah, and he definitely, I think he was slightly stronger than the humans, but he was not xenomorph fighting. He was not jumping off of. I don't think he could have jumped off a cliff face 100 feet high.
She jumped off a cliff. Yeah, that was. I mean, she was like 100 feet in the air. You know.
Yeah.
Like it was a very interesting. So yeah, and their strength is obviously much better too. Even the android that was the captain of the ship. What was his name? I forget what his name was, but
he was a cyborg. No, he was a cyborg.
He was a cyborg. Okay. Now
remember, Tim, they broke this down at the top.
No. But I thought they called him Android at one point, though.
No, they called him a cyborg.
They called him a cyborg. Okay, that's my fault.
Yeah, it's in both episodes. Yeah,
okay.
Yeah,
gotcha.
Yeah, the cyborgs are humans. With cybernetic.
They were green writing.
That actually makes a lot more sense.
Yeah,
that makes a lot more sense now. So he was a cyborg, which is why he could like rip doors apart and stuff like that. That makes a lot more sense. So
he was a cyborg, and what's Timothy Oliphant? He's a synth. Well, yeah,
dude, what is Timothy Oliphant doing in this show? Like, oh my god, he was so distracting. Every time he was on screen, I was like, stop doing what you're doing. Like, someone should have directed that differently. Like, someone should have like, hey, let's turn it down, Tim.
They were like, well, you know, the Justified, what do they call these? Revival. The Justified revival wasn't great. So they were like, Tim needs something to do. I love Justified. The new revival of Justified was no Justified. It was not.
Well, he did that. He did that show with Drew Barrymore for a minute, didn't he? On
the
Netflix.
Santa Clara diet.
Yeah, the Santa Clara diet. Clarita diet. Yeah. So
Peak Timothy Oliphant is Deadwood, and we all know it. So we just all need to watch Deadwood again.
Well, I think
and let's not forget his cameo in The Mandalorian either, guys. I mean, you know,
that did happen.
You know, he did have that cameo in The Mandalorian. But I agree. This really was not Tim's best. I don't think it was the direction. This seemed like it was just kind of cashing it in, moving on, taking a check kind of thing. Yeah.
I need Scream 2 Tim Oliphant. That's what I need. Like, I want that. I need that hungry
psychotic
guy. Spoiler, he's the killer in Scream 2.
Yeah, you need pure psychotic. Yeah, because he really wasn't the star of Deadwood, even though he got top bill. Ian McShane was the star of Deadwood, and we all know it. If not, it was Woo. Oh, so now Josh said something. Episode 1 was the typical Alien setup with a semi-unique backstory. Episode 2 was just Alien in a skyscraper. And I posited to Tim, if Alien gets to take skyscrapers, then Die Hard gets to take spaceships, right?
Yeah,
Yippee-ki-yay.
I don't know that. I don't know that they can make Bruce Willis do another one, but I would be game for it, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah, hey, he sold his digital likeness so they can
Yeah.
they can see me, John McClane in space, yippee-ki-yay, extraterrestrial.
Hey, and they could just transfer his consciousness to a hybrid android, and
Well, he's got a son
we
in the
go.
Die Hard.
You know,
Like,
there
just
you
put
go.
him
It
in
could-
Jai Courtney's body.
Yeah, there we go. Oh man. Yeah. Now I have a laser rifle.
Oh.
So I have a prediction. I have another prediction because y'all guys brought up a good point, and I thought this too. I think they're going to end up killing the billionaire playboy kid or whatever. And
Yeah.
I think Wayland's going to end up with that technology, and they're going to be like, these androids will kill somebody. We need to make them super weak.
I think.
Yeah.
See, I think
Maybe
that
that-
guy is going to end up as kind of like the head corporate villain. I think he's going to
Well,
end
he's
up
not
like
Wayland.
you know, he's going to end up
Yeah.
as like the Lex Luthor, because anytime that guy is on screen, he does the thing where he's likable, but he also says something that's kind of like down the line. You can tell he's going to be douchey. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you can tell it's setting up to the point where he's going to try to do something. And I don't know if he was the one that was behind getting the specimens and he knows what they're for and he has some kind of a plan for that. Whatever that is, I kind of feel like they're going to push him, and that's really going to be the conflict that they're going to focus on more than the xenomorphs, more than any of the alien stuff. And that's where the series is going to kind of take a big dip for me. Is it's going to be more him versus these kids. And I really hope I'm wrong, because that would be terrible. It would be terrible. So,
As a clarification, I did put out there how much more steeped I am than Tim. And me and Google did figure out that the original film Alien took place in 2122. And if I remember right, this is like 2140 or 2140 something, right? Didn't they say that was the year in the first episode? It's like this is about 20 years after the original Alien film. Let me see, what year does let me look this up. Alien Earth.
well, and then Aliens takes place, what, it was 57 years after Alien.
Yeah.
So this is right in between the two.
And Romulus takes place in between Alien and Aliens.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
So
wait,
it's the
no,
same
it was
time frame as
21.
this.
It was 2120 that it said at the top. So this is 2 years before the film Alien.
Gotcha.
Okay. Okay. So yeah, Jason might be right, because within the Alien series, the Wyland Corporation is like that is the big bad. You know that so
Yeah.
these other 5 companies are going to go to the wayside.
Yeah.
Alien's gonna get them all.
Yeah. Yeah. It's going to be the Wayland Corporation that like takes out because you can only have one evil mega corporation.
It's
You
true.
know,
Skynet,
the
right?
whole-
You can only have one
Yeah.
Skynet. You can
Yeah.
only have one. I mean, there's a lot of
Engine.
corporate villains,
Yeah.
right?
And
Engine,
Skynet, as brought to you by Cyberdyne
right.
Systems. You
Mhm.
can
That's
only
right.
have one engine. You know, I think they tried to bring in a new engine, and that's just going to mess it all up. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
They
yeah.
get one evil mega corporation to rule them all. You know, it's
Yeah.
one Sauron basically is what you get.
Well, I don't know if you guys know this, but capitalism is bad.
You know, I watched a dinosaur movie that kind of tried to tell me that. Oh man, yeah. There was dinosaurs, but mostly that's what I took out of it. Barry Allen wants to know. Yeah. Barry Allen wants to know Black Sabbath or Tool, and it's Black Sabbath.
It's
It is
Sabbath,
got to
yeah.
be. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I
That's
love
just
Tool. Don't get me wrong. Like,
yeah.
love Tool. But, come
Yeah.
on.
The Tool was okay, but Mob, you got Dio taking you out. It was that's epic. That is epic.
And just right after Ozzy dies, it's poetic. You know what? What
Yeah.
else can you say? You know what I mean? It's come on.
Thematically, I don't know. Like, see, episode 1 really had nothing to do with a mob ruling anything. There was no
No, not
mob
at all.
rule. Yeah, but they were just like, this song slaps. Let's do it.
It was one step away from Peter Griffin being like, it's just been revoked. Like, they don't set up for it at all.
Yeah. Peter Griffin. They should have just done Panama.
Oh, give them time. They'll get there.
That's gonna be great. If the last episode it's with the break on Panama, because of course you got to hit that jump at the break, or you're not gonna make it.
No, you'll never make it from that without the break. The greatest break of all
time. Ain't you stopping now?
You guys are crazy, man.
But hey, we found something fun to talk about.
We did.
That's right. Hey, man, those like 15 seconds of each episode, easily the highest, most entertaining 15 seconds of each episode. So I can't.
Special
complain.
bonus. You know it's over when you hear it. If they here's what I think. If they interspersed more metal throughout the episodes, that could make it cool. Just like,
Yeah, there seemed to be a lot of just like dead silence, like in between dialogue and when people are just sitting in rooms by themselves and that kind of thing. I feel like there needs to be some filler music. There needs to be some sound effects. There needs to be something developing happening. One of my big
You don't
pet
like
peeves
just the bass playing like one note, just
well, one of my biggest pet peeves in series right now is just dead, wasted space. And I just feel like there's a lot of that in this series, just complete dead, wasted space. You probably could have cut a lot of that down, still got the same cinematic effects that you were looking for, and made each one of these episodes like 25 minutes. I just don't know that we need that much dead space, and it's just filler. It just stretches the episode. That's all they're trying to do, is stretch the episode, and it doesn't add any tension to the scenes. It doesn't add any special, certain effect. You don't get any feel for the character that you couldn't have gotten if it was shorter. I just don't like that. And so that's one of the things. I do think the music was great at the end, but I would have liked more of it as well. And that's part of the reason why. So yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, Trent Reznor is out there making scores now.
Yeah, he did Tron.
Yeah. So I mean, it's right in that lane. I Am the Night wants to let you know that he loved the special effects. The CGI was spotty in some areas, by and large. The xenomorph was done, but the xenomorph was figured out long ago. That's all about production design. And designing the suit.
It has been poorly done, though. It has been poorly done. The one in Covenant looked awful. Okay,
well, that's not technically a xenomorph, but I do agree.
It has been poorly done before, and so to see that the camera work and the angles and the lighting and all that was very well done, I'm going to give it props for that. Absolutely. So yeah.
Thug Dog says just doesn't think the show is original. There are new elements that were introduced to the Alien franchise, but they're just ripped off from elsewhere. Yeah, well, you got the whole Blade Runner angle.
We talked about Blade Runner.
Runner.
We talked about the Fifth Element thing with Lilu. I mean, that was very. And then there was a lot of other stuff too. I mean, I just, for me, it really didn't feel very original. There was a lot of stuff.
Netflix had a show where it was all about downloading your consciousness into new bodies. It was like this futuristic show where people would jump bodies and getting it like it ran for like 2 or 3 seasons. I think one of the Skarsgård was in it or something. But like I've seen that. But
I mean, and
let me
that's
just get
Avatar too. I mean, there's so many other things. It's like,
Avatar.
so I mean, there's so many things in this one particular show that have just been kind of picked from all the various areas of sci-fi throughout the last 20 years that they kind of just put out here, and they tried to kind of just force it upon us as a new Alien project, but it just doesn't feel like it. It doesn't feel like it to me. It feels very forced. It doesn't feel like it's very original. So
I want to say, I just want to ask. I know at this point, Peter Pan is probably is he 60, 70 years old, the film Peter Pan. So Peter Pan has definitely lasted. It's classic. I don't think Peter Pan is ever going away. It's a classic.
Yeah.
It will be there in 2120, right?
Mm-hmm.
But do you honestly think in 2110, like little kids and their dads are going to watch replays of a Reggie Jackson baseball game? I mean, is that something in 2025? Do you?
I've got one better for you, Dan.
Yeah,
we have failed as a society if people are watching Ice Age in 25.
Hey. All I know is, all right, and I'm going to have to check the IMDb. I do not recall any of those kids being named for Tiger Lily. That's so it's not the real Peter Pan that we get in that year, Dan. Okay.
Yeah.
It's not. So yeah. That's
they were watching Ice Age.
Yeah.
Ice Age. Like who's precious about Ice Age?
Ray Romano's family is gonna eat for years on that after he's gone, man. Okay, Ray Romano and John Leguizamo, they're gonna be fat and happy on the residuals for that movie. All right, their families, their grandchildren are gonna eat for years, apparently. So yeah,
Aliens keeping it alive.
Yeah, so basically, you know what? They're stealing that from Star Trek because Trekkies complain all the time that they're always quoting Shakespeare. They're always making references to 20th century and 18th century and 16th century literature and stuff like that. And it's like, are you telling me nothing good happened in the preceding 200 or 300 years that anybody would ever mention some historical stuff that you haven't heard of yet?
Yeah.
Yeah. All the references are ones that we get.
Yeah.
So the Ice Age one, and that's the thing that the Ice Age really gets you because who made Ice Age? Isn't it like a DreamWorks?
It's DreamWorks, yeah.
No, it's Blue Sky. It's Blue Sky, which is now technically a Disney property. They acquired it in the Fox, I think, thing. So,
but remember, capitalism is bad, guys.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now watch this Ice Age, which has been acquired by the Disney Corporation.
Yeah. It is funny that two Disney movies are what they ended up watching. I do think that is kind of funny.
Yeah. So, I mean, obviously I was surprised they were using Ice Age because it's like, how did they get the rights to Ice Age? But now I know how they got the rights to Ice Age. They already own it because it was a Fox. I thought it was DreamWorks, but it's Fox. And
no, it was in the Fox acquisition. They acquired Blue Sky somehow. I don't know that Fox had it beforehand, but they acquired Blue Sky. So
So now that makes way more sense. And that's the thing. You watch this, you watch the first episode, and your first instinct is, let me turn this off and just watch Alien. And where can you watch Alien? Also on Disney Plus or Hulu.
mm-hmm.
Right? And
then
you're watching
someone is going to turn on Ice Age or Peter Pan this week because of this stupid show. I can just tell you that. That's what they were banking on this whole time. So
yeah, you trudge a little further and you're like, I'm still not liking this, but I haven't seen Peter Pan in a while.
That's exactly right. If you can get past the trigger warnings, have fun,
Yeah. Is one of the kids actually named Smeed? If I think
Smee.
I saw that on it.
Smee.
Yeah.
Smee from Peter Pan. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
We don't want to be too on the nose, but yes.
Yeah.
So isn't that wasn't that Captain Hook's Funky's name, or is that one of the
Yeah.
Lost Boys?
No,
Yeah,
that's
it was never a Lost
that's
Boy.
Captain Hook's little dude with the half shirt and the big belly. Yeah, that's me.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Like, okay, so these are the Lost Boys. They're the lost children,
Mhm.
but you name one of them Smee.
Yeah.
Why don't you name them after the Lost Boys?
Yeah, and
No.
can we talk about the kids for just a second? Okay. I do appreciate the vulnerability aspect of the kids being kind of thrust into this situation, all because Wendy wants to go save her brother. She
Mhm.
convinces this guy that, hey, it's time to test your science out on real stuff, but it almost kind of like was just too far with the acting and stuff when they went into and they're like, oh, there's monsters, oh no, and they were just like the little kids. I kind of felt like we've kind of entered kind of some silly territory here with where these characters have gone now and what we're doing with them. It's almost too vulnerable of a character, and it's not just one, it's a whole group of them that are supposed to be 9-year-olds in adult bodies, so I just don't know. I didn't really care for that very much, and something tells me it's not going to get better, because I guess this is a way that you could get away with Xenomorph eating a bunch of kids and nobody caring because they're actually adults. But
They're
I
already
don't know.
dead and they're androids now. That's
I guess.
Did
You're
y'all think
hybrids.
it was? Did y'all think it was very unnecessary for them to have the conversation where the lady's like, "Well, maybe we should just put you through robot puberty"? Like, did y'all
Yeah.
think that was weird?
we didn't
Like, why
turn
did
up
we
the
stop the
hormones.
story for that?
Yeah. And
I
it was very interesting. The whole thing was very interesting. It's like, oh, well, we could just dial that up in the brain, or we can, whatever they were talking about. And I was like, this
I
is
don't
kind
like
of
that.
odd.
Don't like
like,
that.
like, can I ask, like, why we need to consider doing that to an android body? It was very interesting. So yeah.
That's the kind of pure sci-fi angle that people tuning into an alien show aren't necessarily looking
No.
for. That's the
No,
Blade Runner,
not at all.
and that's the pure science fiction of, can we extend life? Do robots count electric sheep? That's the futuristic,
To me,
iRobot,
it was
Ray Brad. That's the
it
futurist
felt
thing that they're trying to do.
it felt very much to me like just an obvious setup that sooner or later these androids were going to have to explain why they're having sex. That's what
yeah.
it seemed like to
That's
me.
what I thought.
We have
too.
to explain why these child androids in adult bodies are having sex, and this is the only explanation that we can come up with is, well, we're just going to adjust their hormone levels and they won't know any better. So that's kind of what that's what I took from it, that they were gonna eventually someone's getting it on in this series, and we're just gonna have to understand that's why.
But the kid angle to me felt like a lot of shows nowadays. I feel like they've let actors into the writing rooms, and like a lot of things seem written just so actors get the chance to acting. they want to emote and show their range. I just always think of the John Lithgow Saturday Night Live. I was acting. That's what I think of whenever I see these things. It's like, this is obviously people wrote this for actors to get excited about showing their acting range, and it's not really that compelling.
It's not.
I don't know.
It's not. It's like, look, man, if you'd have told Tom Hanks when he did Big, like, go out there and act like a child, and then a gigantic alien is going to come out of nowhere and rip your face off, he would have been like, that's a terrible idea. And so I can't, it's like Tom Hanks in Big, Will Ferrell in Elf. There's a long list of people who have, like I mentioned, Mia Jovovich in Fifth Element. There's a long list of people that have essentially been a child in an adult's body, but that just because that's worked previously for those actors doesn't mean I need how many of them were there? Like 7 or 8 of them?
Yeah.
I don't need all of them trying to fight xenomorphs. That doesn't sound compelling or
No.
interesting to me. So yeah.
I agree.
But they don't need to fight him. They don't need to fight him because we've got Wendy's brother. And anytime the Xenomorph shows up, we're going to throw Wendy's brother at him, and he's going to
He
stumble
cannot
around
be
like
killed.
Jar Jar. Yeah, he's going to stumble around like Jar Jar Binks on the battlefield of
He's gonna
Naboo.
kill. He's gonna kill the xenomorphs by accident, just like Jar Jar.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's like,
He's going to fall over something. He's going to trip, and then all of a sudden the Xenomorphs will be dead because that trained Marine squadron was gone, but he had a full WWE SmackDown. He was like rolling around. There was time for the cyborg to show up and shock it, and it's like, and he's going to be alive next week.
Oh,
I
yeah,
mean, the
no
Xenomorph
doubt.
grabbed him and fell away. Like,
yeah.
just the act of grabbing him, he should already be dead. Like, the Xenomorph acts that quickly in this show that, like, he should be dead already. But whatever. But it wasn't. We're
It
complaining.
wasn't
It's
terrible.
not,
I know it's.
yeah, it's just not good.
No, not at all.
Yeah, but I mean, it's like it passes time. I guess I don't know. Could it be good by the time it's over? Are there the seeds of good here?
I don't have much hope.
I think that I think that as an Alien show, I think that the ship has already sailed. I think that we've already seen all the Alien stuff. We've seen all the tropes. We've already discussed them. All the member berries have been tickled from all that stuff. We already have seen it. I don't think there's anywhere else for that to go. So really, we have to get entrenched in the story. We have to get really interested in the story about these kids, the story about the conflict that they're probably going to end up having with this boy genius guy. And there's just a lot of things that are going to have to be very compelling, very interesting. And I just don't know that we have that right now. Like what I equate it to is The Walking Dead, where it started out really well, but once all the zombie tropes were over, and once you've done all the zombie stuff and all the zombie things that people have expected from Night of the Living Dead or what are some other zombie movies? Resident Evil, all those. Once you kind of hit all of the zombie tropes from all of those movies that people have seen 1,000 times over, then it kind of becomes a situation where you're trying to get people interested in a story and you kind of get to an unrealistic level. You kind of get to a point where the conflict feels very forced. It doesn't really feel very realistic. And then, eventually that all gives up. Now with The Walking Dead, they were able to drag that on and not give up all the classic zombie tropes for like 4 or 5 years before it became a thing where they ran out of material.
They're still dragging it on.
But it stopped being good several years ago. Okay. But the point is that they haven't done that here. They haven't set us up for the fact where we're going to be really interested to come back and see an Alien story next week. We're going to be coming back to see the kids, to see her brother, to see the search and rescue team, to see this boy genius guy, to see all this other stuff. We're going to be coming back to see all this stuff. We're not coming back for the aliens because that stuff is kind of gone. So I don't know. I feel like they kind of burned the candle a little too quickly on that stuff, but we'll see next week. I mean, it's only one episode next week. Thank goodness. Last night, I did not start this till 11 o'clock. Okay. I started it at 11 o'clock last night, which means I did not finish till 1 o'clock last night.
Oh God.
And it felt like it, man. It was a long series. I have watched series late until 1 o'clock where I've been on the edge of my seat wondering what's going to happen next. That was Game of Thrones when I was binging it. I've been that where I can't not watch the next episode, It was not like that. It was very much a like drudge. And by the end, I was just like, this just be over?
The first episode was especially a slog. It was just such a like let's take all of the tension out of this. They could have built I could have used some more time on that ship, like Jason said. That was like they even had like the little things where they're showing you flashes of stuff like foreshadowing.
But
then that's all you got. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Slow that down. Let's spend some time there. Let's get to know the people on the ship so that we're frightened with them as they're being killed by this alien. You know, let's stretch this out and have the alien movie where there is no Ripley and everybody dies. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That could be kind of cool. But instead, we get a few seconds of that, and we get the whole Wendy backstory. Takes a lot more of the screen time because that's what we're going to get going forward. The xenomorph will be dead by the middle of the next episode, right? I mean, her brother's not gonna die,
and that's you just introduced probably the biggest problem with this series, Dan, and that's that we know very early on that the series has a Ripley. All right, Wendy is Ripley. She's not going to die, and not only is she not going to die, but she needs the plot of her brother. He's not going to die. Okay, so we've got essentially two characters that aren't going to die, and we know that now. Okay, if I'm with you, what we would have been better suited to do is introduce a group of characters that nobody has any emotional build up to or any of that kind of stuff. Let it go where it may, and let somebody die every week, just like Game of Thrones, just like Walking Dead was at the beginning, right? Let somebody die every week and have it be like a thing, like who is going to die this week. That would have been more compelling, and it would have made the alien stuff drag on a little longer. You could do a different alien trope per episode instead of cramming it all into 2 episodes. So yeah, that's the biggest problem I think with the series right now.
Yeah, because it'll be dead by the middle of the next episode. The xenomorph will be, because she's got to save her brother, right? We've only got one. Maybe we've got a queen, but it will be dead by the end of the episode.
There's eggs. We know there's eggs,
Yeah, there's
so there's going to be more. But
we know that the Earth doesn't get overrun by xenomorphs either, because
actually we don't.
But in Aliens, where are they in Aliens where they're trying to convince Ripley
they're not
to go
on Earth?
Where are they that they're going to go hunt xenomorphs? Are they on the moon? Are they on one of the satellite planets? Where are they when Ripley's back home? Or like Earth. We need to
hang on one second.
But like, but none of those space marines and aliens know what a xenomorph is.
No,
they all think that they're going to be able to handle a xenomorph. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They all think, oh, we've got this. So if the planet Earth had been overrun by xenomorphs like 50 years earlier, you think it would be?
They wouldn't be around.
Yeah, people would know, like, oh, yeah, we can't mess with those. What's that?
It takes place on a moon colony called LV-426.
Okay.
But it doesn't say what moon. Yeah.
But no, that's the moon colony that they go to, right? Like they have to convince her to go because she doesn't want to go.
Yeah, because
on this mission.
It's run down. It takes place on the colony that is now heavily infested with xenomorphs.
Yeah. So where are they before they go?
I'm not sure, but the android in Alien knew what a xenomorph was.
Okay.
So that kind of makes me think. And in Aliens 4, I remember it very, very vividly. They talk about how Earth has nothing alive on it anymore. So I'm assuming the xenomorph, I guess, killed everything.
Well, and like I said, what wasn't the whole point of Covenant that they needed to like repopulate or something, and they had to go to a different planet, or so? Wasn't that like the premise of Covenant? Something like that.
Kind of, but there's solar flares, and then that movie is a mess.
Okay, so that had nothing to do with any of this. I don't know. I've never seen the movie. I have no idea. I just remember the premise.
It's a mess. So is what it is.
It's yeah. Anyway.
Yeah. But anyway, it feels to me like the xenomorphs are going to be done by the end of the next episode, and then we're on to this whole hybrid thing versus the synths and the different companies, which also we know that the Wyland company is going to defeat the other 4 companies, and that the Boy Genius goes down because that's the only company that's still there in those films. So you just lose a lot of, if you're going to tell this huge Game of Thrones battle for power story instead of a small scale. These people are on this ship getting, and I get it that you didn't want to tell the ship story because we've got that story and it's called Alien.
Exactly.
And you can just watch it again.
Yeah.
So they're like,
should.
what if that ship crashed into New York City, into a skyscraper? That's but I feel like all of the ideas on the board just kind of got thrown into the blender. Like they just kind of threw everything together and put it out there, and that's how we ended up with these first 2 episodes. I don't really know where it can go from here story wise. That's the main issue. I just don't know that. I don't know that there's going to be anything captivating. I could be wrong, but I just don't see it. So
I don't either.
Ripley is taken to Gateway Station after she's recovered.
Oh.
So that it's a space station orbiting Earth. So
gotcha.
the Paul Reiser scene and stuff where she's like, "You're crazy. You haven't seen what I've seen." Where she pulls the whole quagmire. She's like, "You didn't hear the songs that I heard." You Space Marines don't know. Fortunate someplace.
Oh man.
That happens on an orbiting space station.
Okay. Well, look at there. I didn't know that. I thought it just
Google knows all. I'm steeped in the lore of how to Google things. That's what I'm steeped in. The comments are helping.
The great thing, what's really funny about Alien is it's a series that's been around a long time, and people just do not seem to be entrenched in the details and lore like there are for other series. It makes you wonder why they don't just scrap everything, reboot it, and try to make it more linear and better and consistent genre wise. It really makes you wonder about that, because they really could have an opportunity here, but this is kind of what Disney does. Disney kind of branches off and tries to just kind of make this one universe a very linear universe that people can follow. It just doesn't work. So and honestly, the Alien franchise and Predator was one of the first big multiversal cinematic universes, because at the end of Predator 2, when they introduced the idea that these 2 aliens exist in the same universe, that's something that it kind of caught everybody off guard. Everybody had always talked about it. Well, what if Predator and Alien would meet up together? But nobody ever thought that they were actually going to go ahead and blend them together. And so, that's one of those things that I kind of think that, Disney, now that they have the property, they really need to consider that. They need to think, this isn't an overwhelmingly popular cinematic universe. People like the first couple of movies, but they don't get entrenched in all the details and timelines like they do with Star Wars, with Marvel, with some of this other stuff. If you really want that, to be a big cinematic universe that people have that diehard passionate fan base for, you probably need to consider scrapping everything, ending your canon, and doing a reboot. That's just my opinion.
Well, the thing is, Alien takes place in a futuristic setting, but again, it's a haunted house feature. It's a haunted house in outer space. That's Alien. That's the first movie. So the lore and the canon and all of that, you want to have it established like in like a movie Bible, so that you don't contradict yourself within the space of the movie. But that's not the point. You know what I'm saying? That's not the entertainment value here. And so I feel like this show is trying to make that Bible the entertainment value.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
It's just like when you were just Googling stuff, Dan. Like that's what they want. They want to make sure all those details are consistent, but they completely and totally whiffed on all the stuff that they should have done to make this show entertaining and make it something that is consistent in that universe.
Agreed.
So
it's the new Disney style. And like Tim texted me, he said this is the Alien Andor. That's what this is, and it's a Disney style. and I think they got it from Zack Snyder. I don't know. Everything's
Oh
slow.
God.
Everybody talks kind of slow. Everybody seems kind of sad.
Dead silence.
And
Dead silence.
yeah,
Just
yeah.
you'd have
You
sometimes
know,
15 seconds of just dead silence. You know, it's
admittedly,
so weird.
cool camera angles and interesting lighting being used all the time, and yet nothing happens in
Mhm.
these
Yeah.
shots. You know, like if you want to impress with your camera work, let's do a single shot take, like Scorsese or Spielberg might do, where like you've got things choreographed and that camera's moving and people are
Mhm.
moving in frame, and you can see how long you can last a shot. Do something like that. Just don't give me an odd camera angle. This is not still photography.
Yeah.
You know, with
I mean,
interesting
and
lighting.
you know, and Clint Eastwood was very famous for doing one-shot takes in his directing because he thinks they're more real and you can get better stuff that way and you can make things more efficient that way. And I feel like so many people focus on doing every little thing because they think every little thing is so important. The way a guy turns his head and the way that a guy sits back in his chair and the way that the music plays as the camera zooms in, none of that is as important as people think it is. Okay.
Not at all.
Some of the film junkies just touch themselves all over that stuff. I am more for the efficiency. I'm more for get to the point of the scene, because if you don't get to the point of the scene, you end up losing me about halfway through the episode. And so yeah, that's what I'm really thinking that they need to do is just kind of get away from the film junkie stuff. Focus more on what just brings the scene together quickly so that you can make the next scene happen and get me through this episode.
I agree
Yeah,
with that.
enough shots of people walking down halls and standing in beams of
Yeah.
light, and I can't
That was
remember which.
Andor. I hated that in Andor.
Yeah.
It drove me insane. It's like every episode could have been 25 minutes. It just drove me insane. You know?
And there was a shot in one of these episodes. It's just like it was front lit, like everybody, like the light was shining straight at camera, and everybody was in silhouette, and like not much happened in the scene. And I'm like, this is garbage here. This is somebody wanting to be artsy with their cinematography, and nothing is happening.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
You know, and
Exactly.
it's good. If we gave you a summary of all the events that took place,
You would think it was great.
spaceship,
Yeah.
like a xenomorph gets loose on a ship. I mean, basically the entire plot of the first movie takes place in the first episode. Only there's
In
no
about 5
Ripley,
minutes.
and the whole the whole crew gets killed, right? And yet they rob that of any drama or suspense. That takes place. It's not exciting. Within the same hour of television, so you get the whole plot of Alien plus a spaceship crash lands on Earth and a new breed of human hybrid cyborgs are created, androids are created. All of that happens in 1 hour, and you watch it and you feel like, man, like, when are things going to start happening on this show?
Yeah.
Because you're not invested in any of it. If like all that happens and it is boring as watching paint dry, and you're like, how? And
I will say the weird pretentious party that the xenomorph tore up, that I was really hoping they would rip that dude to shreds. So I'm really happy that happened, but that was like the only good thing in the entire episode. So yeah.
And of course,
I'm
that's the guy that would
interested
have a
in the
Reggie
weird
Jackson baseball.
Yeah. Oh, the baseball. Yeah.
I'm a baseball guy, so I love baseball. But so the weird blood sucking mosquito thing, I didn't think that looks very good. I didn't think that would look very good at all.
The cat didn't look good. When the eye was out, it's just a straight up cartoon. So I mean, there's bad CGI. There's bad CGI and everything now, though. So I can't hold it captive based on that, But
this is my second plug. There is no bad CGI in weapons. It's all practical.
And here's the thing: that tentacle eyeball thing, that runs around jumping into eye sockets. In a film series, that the whole like selling point of Alien, right, is in art direction. Like that is the most impressive thing about Alien. The art direction, the design, the overall look of the universe. And I'm not just talking about the xenomorphs, but there is a style to it. Yeah. Yeah. The face suckers, the xenomorphs, the sets, the costumes, the ships. It all has a look to it that is very impressive. And and the whole series has this design aesthetic that works. That little tentacle eyeball creature is like that would work in Wednesday. That's like some Addams Family shit.
You're not kidding, Dan. That's straight up what I thought.
Yeah,
I thought to myself, this looks like something from a Netflix comedy. This does not look like anything that should be in an Alien franchise. And the fact that it popped out of the half-eaten cat face was just something completely else. That was just like, wow, this is bad. So I agree completely.
Because Alien has this I don't know. It's like Hellraiser. It's got this fetishy aesthetic, almost leather BDSM kind of thing to it. That's baked into the set design, and that did not carry into an eyeball on tentacles. That's not
not at all.
It's like watching everything has its own aesthetic. So it'd be like watching Peter Pan, right? And then Peter Griffin walks into a frame. You know what I'm saying? You're like, this is not. I'm like, and then Homer Simpson walks in next to him, and you're like, this doesn't work. These are what.
Well, just for the record, Disney owns both of them, and capitalism is bad.
Yeah.
Yes. They own all of that now.
You just made me realize that there's probably going to be an episode where Peter Griffin turns into Peter Pan because of this whole discussion now. So anyway,
the algorithm is listening.
That's right. It's what the people want.
You know what?
Right there.
If you watch the Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers movie that was on Disney Plus not long ago,
oh man, that was terrible.
The Peter Pan does kind of turn into a Peter Griffin.
Oh yeah,
yeah, he's a washed.
I remember that.
Yeah. Peter Pan is the bad guy.
He was like peddling pixie dust like it was Coke or something. I forget. It was funny, but
yeah. So again, I don't know. It doesn't feel like you said, they're going to abandon the whole Alien part of this and give us a straight up Blade Runner show. I feel like, of like cyborgs.
It's a human. It's gonna be a conflict show. It's gonna be a man conflict show. It will not be about the aliens anymore. The aliens will just conveniently show up from time to time, and that's it. You know what I mean? It's the same problem that The Walking Dead ended up having, but they had it about 5 or 6 seasons in. This is only going to have it about 3 or 4 episodes in, probably. So
it's going to be
that's the main issue.
The synths versus the hybrids versus the cyborgs versus the.
I'm not getting the one thing I'm not getting from this that I get from others shows though. I'm not getting that this is setting up like a multi-seasonal thing. I'm feeling like this is going to be it. So,
which that's nice.
I feel like this is. I feel like this is the only push. We didn't get that with the Acolyte. It's obvious they were going for a second season. We didn't get that with Ahsoka. It's obviously that they were going for a second season. Obviously, all the Marvel stuff wants to tie together. So I do feel like I feel like they're kind of setting up a very succinct story that could wrap up very quickly. So that's very good. That's very good. The fact that they're not wanting to drag this on forever and ever is a good sign.
Yeah, I'll take that. That's a positive. Look at this. So we're being positive too.
There we go.
Yeah,
we're glad it's going to
only be so much of it. And I feel like, if anything, the first episode was their Alien episode, even though it wasn't scary when it should have been. And the second episode could have been their aliens episode because it was an action
Yeah.
episode.
Oh
You know.
God, that means episode 3 is the David Lynch episode.
And then episode 4 will be the Winona Ryder episode. Maybe they'll get Winona Ryder to take a break from Stranger Things.
Yeah.
You know, because that's all I remember is Ripley a synth in it too, and she doesn't know. Was that?
No, she's a clone, but they cloned her with the spoilers for Alien 4. They cloned her with the ability to reproduce as like they mixed her with a queen.
With the xenomorph queen. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because of course that's the kind of DNA you want to splice into a human. That's
well, at the end of 3, she jumps into a lava pit, very Terminator 2-ish, and just before she hits the lava, a chest burster comes out of her.
Okay.
And that's how Ripley dies in 3.
Okay.
And then all of a sudden they're like, we cloned her.
I have seen 3. It's been probably since 1996 or 7. And I do not remember any of what you just said. So the lava, the
totally
chest burster,
there was a lava.
None of it.
Yeah.
And I have seen the movie from A to Z all the way through.
3 is also got that they like land in a weird like monastery, and all the dudes want to bang Ripley, and then they shave her head bald.
Yeah, I remember that they shaved her head. I remember
and
that.
Like a Rottweiler gets bitten by a face hugger, but the xenomorph comes out looking like a xenomorph, which doesn't make sense. And they kill Newt off camera. Like
doesn't she still rock the shaved head in the fourth one, or no?
No, she has curly hair.
Oh, okay. I
and
think
she
what really
basketball.
Okay. But what really happened between 3 and 4 is like we can't sell tickets to an Alien movie that doesn't have Sigourney Weaver in it. That's what really happened.
Exactly.
They're like, oh, what about all this money?
And 3 was considered like an epic bomb. So it was one of those situations where like, like they really had to do whatever they could to sell that movie because nobody wanted to go see 4. I to this day have not seen 4 because 3 was so bad.
4 has an awful scene where she's swimming and you get to see the xenomorphs in CGI goodness swimming around her in 1997 CGI. It is
oh my god,
atrociously bad. Yeah.
I'm gonna have to revisit that, because I remember nothing. I remember that I know that I watched it, but that's been a long time.
I feel like this is going to be a Slab Cinema series sooner or later, Dan. We're going to have to hit all of the Alien franchise movies. And anyway.
Hey, we could start strong with Alien and Alien.
Yeah. And then it just whoop.
Yeah. But hey,
until you get to Romulus. Romulus is okay. It's not bad. It's fine. Like
I'm gonna tell you right now, AVP is dumb as a box of hammers, but
it's so fun.
It's kind of fun. It's so fun. I mean, it is. It's just aliens and predators just fighting like crazy.
Yeah, I mean, I would enjoy. I haven't seen it, but I would probably enjoy watching that, just like I would enjoy playing it if it, playing a video game about that. You know what I mean? Like I would enjoy that, but yeah, I mean, I'm sure I would be like, this is so dumb, but it's fun to watch.
I don't know the narrator's name, but I go to sleep almost every night listening to Ancient Aliens. and to have the whole pyramids buried in Antarctica, Ancient Alien angle to my Alien Predator Carnage just adds some flavor to it for me. You know what I'm saying? That is some dumb fun that I really enjoyed. If you expected something more highbrow, you might have missed that the title of the movie was Alien versus Predator.
Now, Alien versus Predator 2, which I have also seen in a movie theater. they take there's whole sequences that just take place in a dark room where you just see shadows because they didn't have the budget to do the alien predator hybrid. So like you just see it moving in like a dark room. I listen. I shit you not. The plot to Alien versus Predator 2 is immediately, like in the first 5 minutes, the whole town loses power. So I'm not lying. Like everything is like
Everything is dark. How are we going to save money? We're going to turn out the lights and just show
it's
an
gonna
hour.
be dark.
We've got a black alien and one that can turn invisible. This is awesome, you know? So,
yeah. Oh, jeez.
I tell you what, Tim, we've got to come up with like a bet of some kind because I've got to get you to watch Weapons. I've got to. It is now my goal in life.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know exactly what kind of access you have to Jennifer Lawrence, but if there was like a date that could be lined up, maybe that would be something that I would consider.
That happen.
Or, you know,
it's legitimately my favorite movie of the year. Like it's not particularly close.
I mean, that's a pretty low bar. What were the best movies this year? You know what
Sinners
I mean?
was okay. Superman was
very good. Yeah.
Yeah, Superman was good. Fantastic Four was pretty good. But yeah, I just am I don't know, man. I here's the thing. As far as these recent horror films, right?
Yeah.
Ever since it started back with Jordan Peele doing a lot of his stuff with like Nope and They and all the, wasn't it called They? Isn't
Us.
that the one? Us, that's what it was called. And all those movies. I kind of think that his style is very good, but I think that a lot of people have all of a sudden clung to this idea that comedic writers have to be able to do horror, and that's like their ticket. And so I feel like they're doing a lot of the same style, and I feel like they're doing a lot of the same setup, and it just makes me sad for some reason. Well, so anyway, but you know,
I don't get to watch much more. My wife and daughter are definitely afraid of any gore. Like my daughter likes spooky movies, like spooky, you know. But
Weapons is definitely not for them though, because Weapons is very gory.
So like the horror movies I have to watch by myself, and I very rarely watch a movie by myself. So I'm just like I've watched one recent like horror movie, and it was god awful.
What was it?
And I can't even remember the name of it. It's a whole trilogy of them.
Pearl?
X.
Yes, I liked X. So I mean, for what it is, I didn't like Pearl very much, but I liked X.
No, I was just done. I was like, the creepiest thing was two old farts getting it on. Like, and I'm like,
I know.
why?
Horrifying.
You're trying to get me to see movies like this, guys. Come on.
Okay.
I'm not trying to get. I'm telling you right now. If it's like X, I'm gonna hate it.
It's not like X. It's very close to like. I mean, it depends. Did you like The Whitest Kids You Know? Did you watch any of that?
See, no, I like that show. Like I like The Whitest Kids You Know. Like, you know, and that's
a comedy.
You know, that's a comedy stuff.
But comedy and horror, they borderline.
They're not as tangential as people think, and
I don't think
that's why I don't like that Jordan Peele has gotten so many accolades for his stuff, because he had some really good stuff originally, and then he middled out, and he became like M. Night Shyamalan, where everybody can predict exactly what he's going to do, and then all of a sudden everybody's saying, well, but I can take my own comedic angle and be a director and do that, and that's what this guy has done. And honestly, it does not look like something I would enjoy. It just doesn't.
Let me say, it is not like a Jordan Peele movie. It is totally.
The trailer is just like a Jordan Peele trailer.
How so? Because you don't know what because it's a mystery.
Exactly.
Oh, mysteries! Jordan Peele invented mysteries.
No, you know, I told Tim it doesn't feel like Jordan Peele to me. It feels like Jar Jar Abrams. in Jar Jar's
No,
mystery box.
no, that is
It's
not
Jar
fair
Jar
either.
and
No.
his mystery box, where it's
Do you
all about
remember
the
seeing the
mystery.
trailer? Do you remember seeing the trailer to Super 8 the first time in theater? I remember watching it and everybody was just like, "Oh, Super 8. I don't even know what it is, but it looks awesome."
I like Super 8 too.
All because J.J. Abrams was doing it. All because J.J. Abrams was doing it. What was it? It was just a monster movie. That's all it was, man.
Just
It was
Godzilla.
just a monster movie. And J.J. Abrams did it, so everybody had to pretend like it was amazing. It was just a monster movie.
Well,
Do you know? Do you know how I know he's a clown? Do you know how I know?
Force Awakens, here it comes, right, Dan?
No.
Okay.
No.
So,
I was just today. I had the Blu-ray out, and I was watching some behind-the-scenes stuff on Mission Impossible: Ghost Protocol.
Oh God.
Yeah.
Right,
I
and
didn't
they're
care for
climbing
that
the
one.
Burj Khalifa, and it's all about doing the Burj Khalifa and the thing, right?
Yeah.
Jar Jar was a big time producer on Ghost Protocol, right?
Yeah.
And he's talking about getting the dailies because he got his buddy Brad Bird directing Ghost Protocol while he dicks around making Super 8. And it's like, oh, wait a minute. No, wait a minute. You're running a production company and you're a director concerned about getting yourself the best projects and have the biggest career, and you tap your friend here to go direct the latest installment of Mission Impossible. Well, Tom Cruise is dangling outside the tallest world in the world like a modern day Evil Knievel. You know, and you're making your goofy handheld Godzilla movie.
Super 8 wasn't handheld. Super 8 wasn't handheld.
It was on a Super 8. That was the whole point.
Cloverfield was handheld.
No, it was on a Super 8, Dan. That was the whole point, you know? And so that was
But yeah, so you're making that and you're watching dailies of Tom Cruise on IMAX film dangling outside the Burj Khalifa, and you're like, no, I didn't want to direct that. I wanted to make this silly Godzilla movie.
I was listening to a podcast that he was talking on, and he was talking about working on Star Wars, but at the time that he was finishing post-production on Star Wars, they were making 10 Cloverfield Lane. And he said, like, after he did all the work on Star Wars, the director would send him dailies of 10 Cloverfield Lane. Like, he was just like, I can't even be fully into the Star Wars movie.
But that's one movie. 10 Cloverfield Lane is one that I just randomly turned on one day, and about 45 minutes in, I was just like, I cannot finish this movie. And it just, that's the perfect example, man, of why I can't take any of these modern horror movies seriously. Mystery is not always good.
Wait,
okay?
Do you not like any mystery?
It's here's the main issue, man. The main issue with horror, okay? The main issue with horror is there needs to be a concrete premise to the horror in order for me to be surprised by what happens.
There is a
there's not, Jason, and that's the whole point, right? If you showed me a trailer for the movie Alien, I would know exactly what the movie's about. But there were still things that could catch me by surprise, scare me, etc. I have no idea or no concept what Weapons is about.
You do.
I know there's some kids that went missing. That's all I know. I don't know how they ended up as zombies. I don't know how they ended up.
They didn't end up as zombies.
Hey,
you need a demonic clown or a horribly burned pedophile.
That's right. That's right.
Or a giant demon zombie with mommy issues. You need one of those, man.
I listen, I love those horror movies. I'm a big horror guy. But there is something refreshing about sitting down and going, I don't really know where this is going to go. And like trying to catch them. And like when you make a wrong guess, being like, he got me here. And it weaves it. There are very set rules. I will tell you that. But the set rules are you find out as the characters find out. Like, but they don't break the rules.
But
Like,
then why would I
loved
go
M. Night.
see it? Here's the
I
biggest
loved M.
problem.
Night
The
Shyamalan
biggest
at
problem with
first.
that, Jason. Yeah, the biggest problem with that, Jason, is then why would I go see it? That's the main issue. Okay. I want to know that I'm going to like a movie before I go see it. I don't want to find out as I'm watching the
well,
movie.
you
if
go
I'm
for
gonna,
the vibe. Like, I can give you a prime example. Let me give you a prime example.
What is this, a club? What do we,
What if I told you that, for example, I watched a horror movie where something happens in a hotel room. There's a scene where there's a shower, but something happens in a hotel room and it's horrific. If because that they did not tell you in the trailer to Psycho what Psycho was. Like, you find out as the story progresses, but you knew something terrible happened in a hotel room. That's what they pitched Psycho on.
I mean, that's the thing. If you know the end of Psycho, then the movie doesn't work.
Yeah,
It doesn't work
exactly.
if
So
Well,
if you
and
know
the twist is-
what Weapons is, it doesn't work. Like,
I'm gonna have to watch this movie just to prove you wrong, Jason.
go
I
ahead,
hate
Tim.
that.
Tim,
I'm gonna
yes,
just,
you
you
will.
know,
I'm
I'm gonna
get
watch
you.
this movie.
I will.
and I'm
You
despise this
like
movie.
you
I
like
thought
the
it-
Sixth Sense? Did you like the Sixth Sense, Tim?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, like I enjoyed The Sixth Sense, right? The premise was very clearly laid out, though, right? I knew that he sees dead people.
But it was a
That's
lie.
really the premise, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, yeah.
You did not know that Bruce Willis was alive to the very end because we didn't know Shyamalan yet, or else we would have known, right? Every Shyamalan movie after that, I'm like, oh, so this is the thing, okay?
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean that was one of those things where, absolutely. But now, I could tell you that because of the trailer got me, man. Okay, Haley Joel Osment can see dead people. Let's go find out what that's about, right?
Yeah.
This, I have no hook. There's no hook. There's no hook at all.
17 kids got up and walked out, and we want to know why. That's the hook.
I don't want to know why. I don't want to know why. There's nothing there.
It's
They said based. Hey, they said based on a true story. That's the hook, which of course has got to be bull. That's like totally.
I haven't. Did they say based on a true story?
Yeah,
they always say that.
One of the trailers did say that. Yeah.
Oh God.
I'll give you a perfect. I'll give you another.
This is not based on a true story.
I'll give you another perfect example of a movie that did that, the based on a true story, which it really was not. Okay, but scared me to death was The Strangers. I loved The Strangers. Okay, the whole concept: somebody knocks on your door, they're in your house the whole time.
Yeah.
You don't know they're in the house the whole time. That movie still has me freaking out to this day. I lock the door in my house when I'm sleeping, when I'm by myself, because I cannot because of that movie. That right there is a perfect example of a hook. I have no hook to go see this movie. That's the main issue with it. And we got off on like a 20-minute tangent.
I'm sorry.
But anyway,
this movie's so much better than Alien. I'm gonna go ahead and tell you.
I mean, that's a low bar.
No, not Alien. I mean,
not
Alien.
Better than
Alien Earth.
Okay.
Yeah. Alien Earth.
And that's
Let's
a low
back
bar.
up the train.
Okay.
Well, okay. You have Netflix, right, Tim?
No, I don't.
Oh, well, dang. I was gonna say watch Barbarian, and if you liked Barbarian, you would probably like Weapons.
You said that last time.
And I have
no hook.
Yeah.
It is so
I have no
good.
hook to watch Barbarian.
It's a monster
Yeah,
movie. That's what I'll tell you.
No,
I've seen monster films, and I've probably seen ones that I would enjoy more.
If there are no swords and there's no Arnold Schwarzenegger, I'm not watching a Barbarian movie. The Barbarian movie needs
But
at
it
least
does
one
take place
giant
in
sword.
Detroit.
Yeah, no, that's not where barbarians are. Barbarians are a mythical land. Yeah.
Oh,
no,
boy.
that's- all right. So anyway, we will be back
Tim.
next week.
I'm going to get you.
Tim may or may not have watched Weapons.
I'm just gonna say I watched it and didn't like it, so that Jason.
Well, no, because here's the deal. If you do that, I'm gonna be like, well, what do you think of
And
the
I
big
will say,
twist?
it insists upon itself, Lois. It insists upon itself. Anyway.
I mean, I ain't comparing it to The Godfather, okay? I am not doing that. I said best movie of the year. I didn't say like top 5
All right.
of all time.
I think Dan was wrapping us up. Go ahead, Dan. Sorry.
Yeah. Okay. We're gonna be back. We're gonna watch episode 3 of Alien Earth, and I promise we'll talk about it. We did talk about Alien Earth a lot. If you tuned in at the end here, you wouldn't believe us, but we did. It's not our fault that they didn't make it interesting enough to fill the whole space. We didn't.
Absolutely.
We didn't write the show.
Yeah, it's true. Don't
But
get mad at me.
Yeah, don't get mad at me. You know, we didn't just throw alien tropes in a blender and call it a new show. We're not the ones who did that. Alien tropes and Blade Runner, and we're like, here's a show.
We did it.
We didn't. We watched it, and we told you it just didn't take very long. But we'll watch the third one and see if they give us any interesting angles. Okay, and we'll be back next week. And Tim may have watched Weapons, and he may just lie about it. I don't know.
Lie about it. Just give it a chance. Listen, what's one thing that you like that I don't like? Because I will give it a shot.
He wants you to go see the new Naked Gun. That's what he wants you to do.
Listen, I will trade off. I will watch Naked Gun this weekend.
I wouldn't pay money to go see Naked Gun again. So anyway, go ahead.
Well, you wouldn't saw it, so okay, all right, all right. Until next week, Jason, where can they find you on the internet?
You can find me at Jason G413 on Instagram. You can also find me on a podcast called Your Imaginary Podcast, and pretty soon Your Imaginary Podcast is going to be doing live improv shows, so I'm very excited about that. I don't know where we're all will end up, but you know.
All right, Tim, tell the people who we are and where they can find us.
We are the Nerd Champs. You can find us right here. If you made it this long and you didn't want to throw your computer, your phone, or other device out the window, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. Go ahead and follow us. Watch all of our videos. I promise you, you will be entertained. You might not agree with us. That's fine. As you can tell, we don't even agree with each other. We don't even like each other very much. It's great. So yeah. So enjoy our content and tell your friends.
All right, Tim, OH.
IO.
Hail State.
All right.